I'd like to welcome you and everyone online who's joining us to Perpetual Life. My name is Neil Vandry, and it's my pleasure and honor to be your officiator here this evening. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Perpetual Life. Some of you are new here tonight. How many people are here for the very first time? Very first time. A couple of people. Great. I'm glad that your friends brought you and told you all about us here. We are all about the idea of lengthy, healthy life, to live as long as possible, hopefully unlimited lifespans, with a healthy body and a healthy mind. So that's what we're here to do. It's our mission to help everyone in extreme radical life extension with health. And at our regular services, we have speakers. Our services, we typically have about 100 people that come here. And next month, it's going to be a whole different event because we have Bill Falloon giving a presentation on age reversal. It's a new one that you've not seen before, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. So that's going to be next month, Saturday evening, again a Saturday evening. Usually we're the fourth Thursday of the month, but it's going to be Saturday evening next month. And also we have a crew coming from the United Kingdom that will be filming next month. If there's anyone here that would like to be involved in the filming, would like to be interviewed, then please let me know, and I'll be very happy to talk with you. Okay. You might be on the UK TV show that they're going to do. We have a creed. Let's put the creed up. It's the Perpetual Life Creed. We believe that all of life is sacred and that we have been given this one life to make unlimited. We believe in our Creator's divine plan for all of humanity to have infinite lifespans in perfect health and eternal joy, rendering death to be optional. By following our gospel, we achieve eternal life, creating a heaven here on earth. We follow Fedorov, who taught that the transcendence of the Creator will only be solved when humanity in our unified efforts become an instrument of universal resuscitation, when the divine word becomes our divine action. And we also follow Clark, who said, the only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. And so we enter each day energized in spirit and empowered by the words of our prophets to live in joy, serving our Creator and all of mankind forever and ever. The new Perpetual Life Creed. It just surmises the things that we believe in. Now the RADFest happens only once a year. The RADFest is coming up October the 3rd through the 6th. You can go to radfest.com and learn about that, October 3rd through the 6th. This year it'll be in Las Vegas for the first time with some new speakers. And we have a short clip to give you a little bit of information about the RADFest. So we're going to go ahead and play that little clip for you now so you can know what the RADFest is. And I highly recommend it. I've been to every one of them. I'll be there again this year. Douglas will be there, and a number of our members will be going out there. I hope that you can make it as well. The RADFest.
I'm really happy to be here with all of you. It's really exciting to have this many of us come together with real purpose in mind, and that's outliving death.
It's great to be here. It's a great conference, a combination of a scientific conference with a festival celebrating life and not death.
That's what RADFest is about. It's about the power of togetherness, the power of sharing the information that is saving lives.
That paradigm of aging is awful. No wonder nobody wants to get old. It's decrepit, it's frail, it's one of the big three: cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and then with the expected last stop at the nursing home. I ain't doing that.
We shouldn't be fighting each other on this planet, because our worst enemy is not each other. Our worst enemy is sickness, aging, and death.
I've dedicated the last 41 consecutive years to identifying technologies aimed at enabling people to live longer in good health with no upper longevity limit.
My friends at the RADFest would like to remove aging and disease from this list to put an end to involuntary death and use science to elevate all humanity to a state of tremendous health. It sounds like a noble quest to me.
the future looks bright. And the future of gene modulation looks even more amazing. So right now we're working on health genes, but in the future we might be genetically engineering you for where you want to live, what you want to do for a living, and how you like to spend your free time.
We are winning the war against biological aging.
We're coming in contact now. We have scientists here in this room that are doing tremendous things, and doctors and entrepreneurs, and I'm so proud of all of them.
We want to move this movement across the world, and every one of you are important in this. I'm so grateful that you showed up for your life here. Spread the word to everybody on this planet, everybody you meet, that we're doing something very special. Guys, we're creating a whole new world together, a world without aging, sickness, and death.
You owe it to yourself to get to the Radfest if you can make it. It's coming up soon. If you use the word Perpetual, I believe there's still a discount, a 15% discount that you can get when going there. Paul, you've been there to the Radfest. I remember seeing you there. And I just know you'll never regret it if you get to go. I'd like to talk with you just for a moment, and then we're going to get right into the film about aging versus age-related disease. So often people will hear you say, when you tell them you want to live forever and be healthy, you want to live an unlimited lifespan, people say, well, if we do that, then the world will get overpopulated. Or if you're working for so many years, there won't be any jobs for the young people. And I'd like to go over a comparison between aging versus age-related disease. And I'd like to thank SENS organization for this. So consider that we should not cure aging because otherwise fewer people would die, and this might lead to overpopulation. Maybe you've heard this before. But what if we said we should not cure Alzheimer's disease because otherwise fewer people would die, and this might lead to overpopulation? See how that doesn't make sense? And it's the same thing for the disease of aging. Aging is a disease. We need to cure aging so we can have an unlimited lifespan. What if we said we should not cure aging because if people were able to work for much longer, younger people wouldn't find jobs? But what if we were to say we should not cure Parkinson's disease because if people were able to work for much longer, younger people wouldn't find jobs? That doesn't make sense, does it? Or we should not cure aging because it would be unnatural. The same thing could be said, we should not cure arterial sclerosis because it would not be natural. Doesn't make sense, right? We should not cure aging because it would be only for the rich and cause inequality. Couple that with, we should not cure cancer because it would be only for the rich and cause inequality. Or we should not cure aging because there are more urgent issues. What if we were to say we should not cure type 2 diabetes because there are more urgent issues, right? So this applies. So if you were to say to someone we should cure the disease of aging, we should be able to live unlimited lifespans, bring these facts into their mind. Aging is another disease. In my mind, it is the ultimate disease that we must cure. We have the chance now, for the first time in history, people have looked for unlimited lifespans. Ponce de Leon was looking for the fountain of youth. The first emperor of China was trying to live forever by drinking mercury, right? The Egyptian pharaohs were trying to live forever. Throughout history, people have wanted to live forever, but for the first time in history, we have a chance scientifically to reverse aging and to actually live forever and live an unlimited lifespan. I hate to say forever, I like to, but that's the ultimate goal, is not to die, to live healthy for an unlimited lifespan. And just came out a report in Nature that I had sent out to many of you that 12 people have shown to have reversed their aging through a study done by a man named Greg Fahey. And I'll be bringing some of that information to you coming up actually next month. I believe it'll be in Bill's talk, and if not, it'll be in mine. But there's some really amazing things on the horizon. We're right on the edge of what would be the renaissance of curing diseases, curing aging. And this is the first time in history that we have a scientific reality, a chance for age reversal and an unlimited lifespans. I hope that you can catch it, and I hope that your loved ones can as well. So now we're going to go right into the film. The a film, the Cocoon, done by Ron Howard. Some interesting things about Cocoon. It was filmed, much of it was filmed right here in Florida, in St. Pete and over in Lakeland. So you're going to see some scenes here that may look familiar to you. So let's go ahead and show Cocoon. Doug? So, who has comments or questions? Touch. So there was that one guy that decided he didn't want to go, but everybody else did. I would hope that that's the way we would treat unlimited lifespans here in our lifetimes, that everyone joins us. Are there any, John? Come on up and use the microphones, because we're recording this.
The beautiful Cocoon and the life-giving force, there was a part in there where they they didn't do it maliciously, but they end up ruining it. They almost sabotaged their own lifeline. And main character, the gentleman, said, it's no more. So it was, to me, I took about it where we have to be careful of using things, that we don't use it screwed up for each other and mankind.
So what John's talking about is the time when all of the people went into the pool and almost ruined it for themselves. Yeah. Okay. I'll use, thank you, Desire. Okay, there's something wrong with the, you got that?
That was a point that wasn't really. Just the whole idea of going towards something so unknown. Yeah,
Christine?
I hated it.
Hated it?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. I am a convention enthusiast, I'm a cryonicist, I'm all those things. And movies like this bother me for a lot of reasons. It's like, for example, the younger people that were in this group, not one of them chose to forfeit the 30 or 40 years of life that they would have left on Earth to extend their lives radically. It was all the ones that had used up their lives already that were worthy of going or thought themselves worthy of going or whatever. And that bothers me a little bit. It also bothers me that this movie was made in '85. I checked, every single one of those actors is dead, except for one. And it bothers me that we're not working harder here right now to live longer. We're just hoping like that it's going to happen. That, we're on the cusp. I've been hearing this for years and years and years. We're on the cusp. But yet each and every one of us is getting older. And each and every one of us is not going to make it if we don't get our act together and actually solve our own problems rather than waiting for aliens to come and save us. I know it's just me, I'm a cynic, but I try to live in this world in as real of a form as I possibly can. And I try to work in the things that I come here to talk about. And I just wish I had more help, because we can do this ourselves. We don't need aliens to save us. That's all I'm going to say about it today.
Well, that's a good point. Of course, it's a fantasy movie. The idea of aliens giving us the life forever. But this is something that we need to work for. There's not going to be some magical hand come out of the sky. But then that's another good point. With the captain, the captain should have gone on the trip. The little boy should have gone with his grandparents.
They should have taken their families with them.
But there is also a Cocoon 2. So you want to check that out. I won't give any spoilers on that, but it's worth watching, which addresses some of what you're talking about. Yeah, good points, though. All good points. There was some yes. I'm going to ask you to talk in the microphone so that, because we're recording this for the...
You know, people refer to us as humans refer to these people as aliens. And that really bothers me. Because if you look at the earth and where it is situated, it is basically situated in the middle of nowhere. And the people who live on it, us, we are an alien life form because it's an alien planet situated in the middle of nowhere and we're going nowhere fast. So why are they aliens? Aren't we aliens? We live on a planet and the only people who know about this planet apparently is us. So, you know, nobody else has ever come to say, well, you know, you all are humans, you know, I think we're all aliens.
Okay. Well, and going back to what Christine was saying, you know, you can love this movie, you can hate this movie, but for me it gives inspiration, the idea of being able to live for a long, long time. When you look at the ALF, where all of the older people were living, only one of them chose not to come along, and the rest of them did. And that's really where I'd like to see society be, where the majority of society wants to end aging and live an unlimited lifespan. Right now, that's not the case. Right now, most people, if you talk to them, don't want that. And I think it's because they feel they're not worthy of it, or they feel that there's something wrong with it. And it's something that we, all of us, I think, need to talk to people about, because the more people think about it, the closer they come to the idea that it's not only okay, it's something that we should do, and we should all work on it. That's how I feel on that. John? We're going to bring you a microphone, John. Here you go.
I think that's a really valid point. A lot of religions throughout human history have had the concept of the afterlife. Yet with modern technology and the advances, the instinct is correct. You want to live more. You want to live in peace and tranquility and beauty. Yet this movie was really awesome because the instinct is to keep going. Like you said, one person, for whatever reason or his own personal belief, wanted to stay, but everybody else had that life force instinct to see what is beyond and see what is a new adventure, and not to just die in the ALF. So.
Question back there for Kathy. Or a thought, yes. I'm going to bring you the microphone, Kathy.
Thank you very much. Well, it occurs to me that part of the reason that the child couldn't come is because children are not supposed to be making their own decisions. So they'd be taking him from whatever his future may be and altering that. We also seem to find a comfort in that we have a certain helplessness, which is why they use aliens, because obviously we can't help ourselves, we need some outside force. And that, unfortunately, that thought allows us to be lazy and not to go to where we might meant to be, which no one knows what it is because we haven't reached any limits. There's still more unknown than there is known. So we've got to look. Jack? Because he had more things he wanted to do here. The people who went, you got to think about this, is for the most part, they were already feeling their pains, so to speak. So they saw nothing but improvement. Whereas Jack, the child, etc., had a future ahead of him. Something bright may be in front of them. It's all uncertain. But the boy? Well, then see, that's the point. In any legal situation, I don't know if they thought about all this for a movie, but in any legal situation, the parent acts for the child. The grandparent doesn't. But again, I think what they were trying to show is that each person makes their own decision. And that Bernie guy didn't go because he lost his wife. He didn't want to be alone forever. Yeah. It's grief. But she did exactly what she would have done anyway. And this guy, Arthur C. Clarke said, there's definitely aliens, there's just so much space. There's got to be other beings. The only question is whether they'll want to do lunch or eat us for lunch.
And yes, but it also comes back to what Christine was saying. We have to take responsibility and charge of our own unlimited lifespans. We can't expect some alien life force to bring it to us. It's something that we must create. It's something that we're on the edge of
We've been on the edge for a long
getting.
time. There's
We
something
have
wrong.
been, yes. Well, there is. The
it's
bulk of
profit.
society, unfortunately, is not interested in unlimited lifespans, but that's changing. It's been
more than
changing
that. They
more and more in the past decade than ever before. So I think it's going to accelerate.
I would
think
hope so.
Well, yes, I think so. Christine?
If we all put our heads together. Could you imagine? I mean, again, I'll go back to the things that I know because I can't speak of anything else. I've managed to finally, after 20 years of activism, get an actual job in cryonics. So that's why I'm here. But if I had the help, I mean, for all the people that aren't going to live long enough to see an unlimited lifespan, to actually have quality cryopreservations each and every time, especially in this community, especially in a community of concentrated cryonicists, Arizona or California or here. Can you just imagine what we could pull off if we could just get our acts together?
So Christine is with Suspended Animations, and she's a cryonicist, and that's a valid option. That's a valid point. The idea of having a life insurance in cryonic suspension in the event that something should happen to you. And you'll see on the tables outside and downstairs that we have more information about cryonics, and you can speak with Christine or myself or any of the members here if you'd like more information on that. But thank you, Christine, for bringing that up. Adam.
Yes, I heard it said that outer technology is a reflection or a product or a mirror, say, of inner technology. So the idea is that we have the inner technology within to create all of these things, and what we create out in the world is just an extension of that. And I think that one thing in the movie I think was kind of realistic was with the pool. The idea is that it had a regenerating power, and I think there's a point that probably in the near future you could say maybe kind of like metaphysics is meeting science, where I think theoretically, we can have that ability pretty soon, where we have the technology to understanding energy, electromagnetism, where we can regenerate life. I don't think that's far-fetched.
Thank you, Adam. Actually, as I mentioned earlier this evening, there's a report that came in Nature that a dozen or so people have apparently reversed aging for themselves under this study with Greg Fahey. And we're going to be hearing more about that at RADFest. And next month, as I said, I believe Bill Falloon will be including that in his talk. And if he doesn't, I'll bring you the information that I get from RADFest on this, the particular ingredients that you need to do. But it's something you need to do for yourself, to take charge of for yourself. It's not a swimming pool you can jump into and come out of and feel younger. It's a situation where it depends on what you eat, the food you eat. It can be poison and it can be medicine. So consider the things that you eat, the things that you do, the choices you make, and the options that you have. These are the things that will be able to help you to have a lengthy and healthy life. Many of you are doing metformin or rapamycin, NAD+, and there are studies being done with a couple of different groups on these things, and there are ways to keep yourself healthy, and I want you all to be healthy for a long time. Many of the people in the movie, they had significant others, spouses, that they wanted to come with them, and I think that they would love to have all of their families go with them, but it was limited to the 30 people that were there. But obviously, in reality, we have to create these things for ourselves. Okay. Kathy?
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I thought there was some religious overtones to the movie, and I think it was purposeful. I don't know what was in Mr. Howard's mind, but it seems so. Because again, the movie demanded that we believe in something other than ourselves. That's all.
Anything else? One last thing, John. Come. Can I bring you a microphone?
If you talk to elderly people, one of the common things I've heard them say is, I'm tired. I think slowly there's a breakthrough coming. Even when you speak to younger people and you talk about life extension and very advanced technologies like cryonics and these things, you hear the typical excuses we've all heard. But then there's going to be a change, I think, a major change in their thinking, like why not? You know, with anti-aging and rejuvenations, you won't be so tired. I mean, there's an epidemic in this country of people in their 40s and 50s basically killing themselves because of mental, emotional, other issues. And it's a tragedy, but there's awareness of it slowly, thank heavens. But those people have serious issues that are not just like physical. A lot of it is emotional. People just kind of subconsciously want to leave, want to die. But there are a lot of us here in the trenches, in the grassroots, want to live. And if we can be just an example of in a humble way building this community, I think is a step in the right direction. So thank you, Neil, for all you do.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Okay. Well, I'd love to continue conversing with you, and there's still food downstairs. If you haven't had a chance to eat, there's the potluck will continue downstairs, and I look forward to getting to know some of you that I've not met before. Thank you for coming. Next month, October the 26th, Saturday, we'll be here. Bill Falloon has a new talk, and it's going to be a great one. And if you want information for the RADFest, I have that for you as well. Thanks for coming. Good night.